12th in the power ranking. I think we were severely underrated. So the season's over, we're 12th, and look at all these injuries. Our secondary, I don't know what they were drinking, but they were all injured. Garcia is out for 16 weeks, Holcomb is out. Everyone has been diagnosed with bones made of wet paper. We have to figure something out. I don't remember if I showed who played and won the Super Bowl, but here it is. If you're curious about the Pro Bowl, that's the score. And before we head off to the offseason, real quick, MVP goes to Brooks. Peyton Manning gets Player of the Year, though questionable why he wasn't MVP. Ed Reed, Defensive Player of the Year, though most of his stats came against us. Jackie Ramos with Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Moses Chavez, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tomlinson with the rushing title, and Corey Dillon with Super Bowl MVP. Retirements are up next. 3 guys are considering retirement. Let's take a look at Matthews first. He's not coming back. Dalen McCutcheon had himself as good of a year as he did last season, but I don't think he's worth bringing back. Andre Dyson, on the other hand, I want him back. He's a playmaker. He had 5 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles. The problem is he's asking way too much money, so it pains me to say it, but I'm going to allow all 3 of these guys to retire. Moving on to the re-signing process, Andre Davis was a 3rd string receiver on the team behind Northcutt and Morgan. He's capable of making big plays. He showed it during the wild card this year, but he's not reliable enough. I'll be moving on from him and King this year, which means this offseason I'll be looking for another receiver. Aaron Shea was given a 5-year contract to continue to be a backup to Winslow. Michael Myers, the man with the best name in football, will be let go. He's not good enough in rushing the passer or stuffing the run for me to warrant keeping him around. We'll be looking for a new defensive tackle this offseason. Clay Brooks is the 4th string defensive end on the team, and I considered resigning him, but 6 years wasn't enticing enough for me to pull the trigger. He'll be gone. Phil Dawson had an okay season, but his leg strength isn't the greatest, which is why I hesitated to pull the trigger on him. We'll be moving on from him. The same can be said about Frost. He's not a very good punter, and I'm sure we can find someone better in free agency. And that was the last of the re-signings. This year's free agency wasn't too exciting either. The headliner was a fullback, which is not a knock on Neal, but to show that there wasn't any star power in this year's offseason. So I ended up offering contracts to Longwell and Bennett. Though Longwell chose to sign with another team, Bennett accepted our offer.
Welcome everyone to a special NFL offseason report here on ESPN. But first, let's kick things off here by taking a look at the guys in the last few months that have decided to call it a career in the NFL. Jerry Rice has finally decided to hang him up after playing hard in this league for a lot of years. He admitted at his going away that Father Time has finally caught up to him and the game has passed him by. When we look back on his career, you can tell that he meant a lot to his teammates. They always knew they'd get 100% effort from him on every snap. Michael Barrow has also, as you see, decided to call it a career. Now, he too was a guy that played with a lot of emotion out there, but he decides he's had enough. Derek Brooks announced his retirement a few weeks back. Never really a superstar in his years in the league, but certainly a guy that teammates love to have around. Hard to believe that it's been a dozen years since he was a fresh-faced rookie in the NFL, but he grew into a real team leader almost from the outset of his career and carried it all the way through his final year. Aeneas Williams is another that announced his retirement a few weeks ago. You could probably have seen that one coming. He had a pretty solid career all in all. Meanwhile, with NFL free agency becoming more and more competitive by the year, a number of teams had to scramble to find cap room to re-sign their own free agents, as we see here. Marcus Stroud drew interest from several teams around the league, but in the end, he wound up re-signing with his old mates. 6 years, $41.6 million, plus a $4.1 million signing bonus. So this obviously a key signing for him, as they'll keep him in the fold for the next 5 seasons. Jamal Lewis will also be staying at his old address for a while, as he's locked up for the next 6 seasons. Todd Heap re-ups with his old mates, 6 years, $29.4 million. On top of that, an $8.8 million signing bonus. Deshaun Foster agrees to an extension with his old club, as he'll stick around for at least the next 5 years.
The draft is now here, and the Browns' first selection was Troy Poole. 6'5", big hands, speed. Dude was born to be a playmaker. The second round pick for Cleveland was Roosevelt Howell. The offensive line needed help last season. Whether this guy can do it is questionable, but there's no doubt he's a rock when he's in pass protection. Something I didn't know that Cleveland had. 4 picks, including 3 back-to-back in the 3rd round. Here's their first selection, Jordan Flowers. With Dyson retiring along with McCutcheon, this pick should be able to help him out. He's tall, fantastic speed, and his coverage is pretty good. Over time, I believe he'll be great. Now to the 3 straight picks in this round. Greg Lindsey, not a fantastic pick, possibly a reach. Javier Ramos will be replacing Michael Myers, and I think he has a decent chance of getting a lot of playing time this year. And the last pick for the Browns, 3rd round, Omar Beck, another cornerback, not as tall as Flowers. I believe those young cornerbacks will be an awesome duo in the next few years. The 4th round pick for the Browns was Merle Norris. He was a steal. Great coverage, pass rush ability. He will need to fix his run coverage, but for now, great value for a pick. Another 4th round pick, Homer Anderson. I think he's also a great value for the pick. Can cover pretty well, lower his head, and make a tackle. And the final pick for the Browns was in the 5th round, Freddie Lawrence. Not much about him is great except for his pass rush ability, but that's about it. That's it for this video. The preseason will have all 4 games in one this year, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Press the like button if you did enjoy it. Tells me you want to see more. Comment and tell us what you like. It really does help me understand what you want to see more of, and thank you once again for watching.